Hi, and welcome to Board with Life News for February 12th. This week I'm going to talk about expansions to the games Archipelago, Masquerade, and X-Wing. And I'm also going to talk about a mysterious new game coming out from Days of Wonder this year, as well as a Kickstarter for Scoville. So let's get right into it. Hey, I'm Chris, and I'm sure most of you probably realize what I'm going to start out talking about in this week's Board with Life News, and clearly it's going to be Sunday's episode of True Detective. But seriously, that was insane. But no, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to start out with talking a little bit about our Kickstarter. As I'm sure most of you know, we're running. It's going amazingly well. We're so happy. It's great. I'm not going to spend long talking about it, just kind of hit a couple of quick bits. We hit 75% funding within 24 hours, so that's totally amazing and totally awesome. We've got, if you donate, we've got shirts, DVDs, we've got a Board with Life micro game that's awesome. We've got walk-on rolls, all sorts of awesome stuff. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure to go over and give us your hard-earned money, because we're looking forward to making season 2. And thank you to everyone that has already supported us. And yeah, it's super exciting. Also, we got to get money so we can get Rich Summer from Mad Men on the show, because he's one of our push goals, which is awesome. Okay, now into actual board game news. First up, Archipelago has an expansion, the hit game from last year, and it's called War and Peace. It's going to be new cards, 20 new character cards and 20 new progress cards, and you're going to be able to either switch out the cards that are already in the game for them or just shuffle them in and incorporate them into the game. They're apparently going to be more aggressive than the cards that came in the game, and also encourage more player interaction than the original cards. Up next, one of our favorite games from last year was Masquerade, and it has a new expansion. It's going to have 10 to 12 new character cards, don't know quite how many yet, and they're going to be just like the normal Masquerade cards that give you certain abilities, and you can lie and say that you're a character and switch with other players and check other players and all that kind of stuff. My favorite from the ones that they released was the Neuromancer, which basically you put all the unused character cards in the middle of the table, so there, could be 10 to 15 cards, and the Neuromancer can take one of those cards and become that thing. So that's a pretty cool, and I like the thematic element of just, I guess, being possessed by something that doesn't exist, whatever. So that's exciting news. Hot off of last week's news, the X-Wing Miniatures game had its official announcement that they're releasing the GR75 Rebel Transport that they unveiled at Gen Con last year for $60. They have more news, and they're going to be releasing 4 new ships: the E-Wing, the Z95 Headhunter, the TIE Defender, and the TIE Phantom. So now they have these giant ships. They also have that other one that's going to be $90 coming out. So they are really hurting people's wallets mercilessly. But it's a really fun game and really cool. So I guess, get your wallet out. Sorry. And now the big news of the week is Days of Wonder, which is a notoriously kind of tight-lipped publisher, has actually given some information on a game that seems to, they're still working out and stuff, which is interesting. It's going to be by Bruno Cathala. He designed Cyclades and Shadows over Camelot, as well as a whole bunch of other games. And it's apparently his take on the worker placement genre. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't even really have a clear theme yet. But according to Eric Martin over at BGG News, it's going to use variable worker powers, so worker placement where certain workers do different things. And it has an interesting rotating tile system, it looks like, where when you place a worker, you can rotate a tile, and based on which direction the tile's facing, it can give other players more points or actions or something like that. It's not a lot of information because it's coming from a French translation, and also because there's just not a lot about that game yet. But it looks really interesting, and I'm very excited to see that kind of stuff. Now let's talk about Kickstarter games. So this week I'm talking about Scoville from Ed Marriott. We actually got to see this game at the Unpub room at BGG Con. We didn't get to play it because everybody was crowding around it because it's so good, but it looked really fun. It has bidding and set collection mechanics, and basically you're trying to take peppers and crossbreed them and get more points for more peppers and move around a grid and plant and harvest peppers and stuff. Looks really cool. It's for 2 to 6 players, and it's only $40 right now on Kickstarter, so definitely go back that. All right, that's the news for this week. I'm going to talk about a question about Peter Walker, and then I'm going to tell you to go back our Kickstarter because we love money. We're going to make sandwiches out of your money, I promise. And Donald's going to eat all of them. That's not true. I lied to you right there. Okay, so this week's question is from Peter Walker via YouTube, and he asked, what is your favorite dexterity game and why? We don't play a huge amount of dexterity games, but Dungeon Fighter, I don't know if, that's clearly a dexterity game, but I don't know if it doesn't feel right for defining that as just a dexterity game. But I enjoy Dungeon Fighter a lot. It's very fun. It's very funny. We liked Rampage, things like that. Probably my favorite true dexterity game is Pitch Car. I don't know exactly what it is. I liked Hot Wheels a lot when I was growing up and building those tracks and stuff, so I think part of me really likes connecting to that part of whatever brain memory exists for that. But I really like building the tracks and kind of the fun. You always end up with a bunch of those like everybody yelling moments of either somebody has a really good pitch flick, I don't know what you call it. Seems weird to call it a flick, but somebody flicks the car really well, or falls off the track or whatever. So probably Pitch Car, I would say that. Thank you guys so much. I know a lot of you guys are new subscribers because we had a bump with the Kickstarter, and thanks for giving our channel either a first chance, or some of you that came over from Shut Up and Sit Down, a second chance. We really appreciate it. Glad you guys are enjoying the content. Let us know what you want from us. Let us know what we can do better. And if you've got the time, go check out our Kickstarter. The Kickstarter video is long, and I know it starts out normal, but you might want to stick around because we did some weird stuff with it, and we think it's pretty funny. We're pretty proud of it. I'll remind you, bits are now every other week, and news is now on Wednesdays, and yeah, we've got a lot of cool content coming out for you in the next couple weeks, so make sure you subscribe, like us on Facebook or Twitter, all that kind of jazz, and I will see you next week. Thanks again, guys.